welcome back to Reclaiming America.
It's
I'm
me
Bill.
again. Oh, I guess I'm Dan.
And we would guess you're Dan too, 2 out of 3 times.
He does this every time when we're starting the show. He gets me laughing, and then boom, we go right to it.
Good. We had a lot to discuss today.
Oh, we got one big thing to discuss.
We have to start out with an apology from my partner here about how well the Cowboys did last week. And we accept that one, and we're moving on to the Super Bowl.
Bill, no one cares about the Cowboys but you.
That's not true. There are 80,000 fans that go to their games.
There's 80,000 that go see the Denver Broncos, and they aren't any good either. And they have better uniforms.
Yeah, but we have better cheerleaders.
The Dolphins got you on there.
I don't think
Fun
so.
story. I got, when I was playing arena, they had the Dolphins cheerleaders come in as like a promo. So they're on the field. We're not allowed to talk to them, of course. But I'm like as close to one of them as you, and I'm looking at her, and she's got more makeup on.
Oh, they have.
Oh, my God.
It's like
I was
using one of those spackles.
I thought the spackle is what I was thinking. She must have chiseled it on. Very nice girl. But I was like, you're in the middle of the field. No one can see you up close. Why would you bother?
First of all, we have to start out with me eating a little slice of humble pie.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to look at you for this. Go ahead.
On our last conversation, I predicted that by September 30th, there would be a budget in place.
No, you predicted that for about 6 months.
Well, yeah, but let's go to the last one. And there is a budget in place. There's going to be one.
There is?
Yeah. They have it all. They need it till November to finalize it.
They have a CR in place.
Well,
Continuing resolution.
They have a plan that's out there, but now everything's on hold because of some radical Republicans.
They have a plan?
See? We agree. Now we move on to the radical Republicans.
Really? You're going to call McCarthy a radical Republican?
No, I wasn't. I'm calling the Gang of 8.
All right, hold on. Mr. Gates, hold on.
Sorry, guys.
That was our producer, Greta.
Sorry.
She has something to
I
say.
hate to tell you this, but you showed him your good side.
Oh. I'm going to just look this way.
I'm just saying, it was on camera.
I have a Louisville Slayer up here. For that you die.
All right, now she distracted me from what I was going to say. So, Mr. Gates, round of applause. I would stand up, but I'm wearing a microphone.
Gates, I can't wait to spend all the money I can do to take you down with your other gang of 7.
So you want to keep the status quo?
Excuse me. Those people did not vote for the reason that they said they did. They voted because it was a personal issue with them, and it's been proven already.
Proven by who?
You want me to go through the top 2?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mr. Gates, for 2 years, has got an investigation going on about him in ethics, which involves money and involves women and whatever else. And he's been looking for McCarthy to kill it, and he refused to do it. So all of a sudden, we got to get rid of Mr. McCarthy. Now we go to Congresswoman Mace, okay, who said, quote, on an interview, I believe it was on The View, who started out by saying, well, I have different reasons than the other congressman. My reasons are that he lied to me, and therefore I had to vote against him. What did McCarthy do? He called the Congresswoman's chief of staff and said to him...
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And he said to him, have I ever lied? And the chief of staff said, you've been 100% truthful.
McCarthy said the chief of staff said that.
That's exactly true. And
so it didn't come from the chief of staff saying it. It was McCarthy who said it.
It was relaying a conversation that he had with the chief of staff.
And McCarthy would never lie.
And the chief of staff has not come out and denied it, has he?
Or has he admitted it?
Not admitting it is like not denying it. If you didn't say it, didn't say it,
not admitting it is
like not
exactly the same as not denying it.
Okay, we agree. Now let's move on.
Oh dear God, help me, Lord. And I'm not even a believer.
And that vote was 216 to 210, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? We know what my biggest fear is going to be. We're going to have the Democratic.
We already had one. That's what McCarthy was.
No, he was not. But you know what? I learned a long time ago, never argue someone with a closed mind, so I'm going to leave it at that point. And just leave the fact that you're an anarchist, and we'll leave it that way.
You're becoming like the woke left, Bill.
No.
Now
you're getting highly personal.
Because you rather than have a conversation, you're shutting me down ahead of time by making a false claim against me.
Okay, defend yourself.
To discredit me.
Defend yourself.
Well, I'm not defending myself. I'm defending the action.
Okay, defend the action.
It's about time somebody took a stand. All right? McCarthy caved yet again on the budget. We're going to delay it another 45 days. And what was he going to do in 45 days? He was going to cave again. Okay?
No.
Well,
you don't know that.
You don't know what he was going to do
Yes,
either.
I do know what the plan was.
the plan. What was the plan, Bill?
30% cut non-defensive spending across the board, building the wall, among other things.
Yeah, because the Biden administration wants the wall now, but go on.
Well, they want the wall because of our two governors who keep sending them refugees, illegal immigrants. Pick the word you like.
All I'm hearing again is what they're gonna do again.
And he needed time to get the job done.
We are 40 years into what we're gonna do. All
so
right?
your solution is what?
Are you gonna let me talk?
No, I'm done.
We've had 25 years of continuing resolutions, Bill. When do we take the firm final stand?
So your final stance is what? We get rid of McCarthy. What happens now?
Shut it down.
What happens now?
So we don't know who they're going to elect.
Yeah, and it could be.
And I want to have a whole conversation about that in segment 2. Let's not go there yet.
Okay. Let's hold that off.
Because I think that's going to be a fascinating discussion.
I think it's a disaster looking for a place to happen.
So be it, because I'm done, and so is the majority of the country, Bill. You need to start opening your eyes to what the majority of the country wants. They are done with this Congress. They are done with the games. They are done with the I wanna, I'm gonna, just wait. We gotta be the majority. We gotta blah, 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 blah. And elect us because we're not them. That's all we've heard from the Republican Party for 40 effing years. Enough. It's time to take a stand. So I applaud Gates. Do I think he did it the right way? No, but he did it. And I give him credit for that. It's about effing time something got done. Shut it down. Tell the Democrats, here's what's coming. You don't like it? Work with us. Because they aren't working with you.
Wait a minute. If they work with them, wouldn't that be selling out your principles?
No. You say to them, here's our budget. You can pass it or you can negotiate with us. But we're going to take a hard stance on pick your issues. Budget, budget line item if you want to go that way. This omnibus, pass it again, continuing resolution bullshit's got to stop. Because you gave Biden a blank check to raise the deficit. It's at 34-ish now.
Over 33 mil, Bill, show you.
And he's got a free reign until January of 25. He could put it to 40 if he wants. McCarthy did that. He is 100% responsible for it. And you know it. All right? You've got unlimited spending to Ukraine. You've got our congressman telling me, I'm sorry, we can't help small businesses out because that might raise inflation. Because that's what his aide told me this week. Meanwhile, he's voting to send billions to Ukraine. Enough. I'm done. I know you and I aren't going to agree on this.
And I don't see any sense debating with someone who I can't change their mind on.
So you're going to take your ball and go home.
No, I'm not. I'm just not going to respond to it. That's the difference.
Because enough's enough. You have a congressional rating. They're claiming it's 19%, which I just am laughing about. It's more like about 0.9%. People are done. The country is done. You're voting to send, what are we up to, 165 billion to Ukraine? Meanwhile, the border is a sieve. Cities and states are dealing with record crime. Nothing's being done internally. We can't help small businesses here, but we're going to send, I don't remember how many million to Ukraine to help them, which is what prompted my email. I could go on and on and on.
Where, by the way, in the Constitution does it say that the U.S. government is responsible for crime in the cities?
Is there a little thing called the FBI?
They're not responsible for crime in the cities, only federal crimes, not local crimes.
But they tend to insinuate themselves into
there you go. You made a statement that doesn't work.
No, I made a statement you don't like and don't agree with.
Because it doesn't
You're
work.
going to tell me the FBI is not involved with local crime at all? Give me a break.
First of all, they have
Next,
to.
you're going to tell
First
me
of all, it's got to be a.
You're going to tell me the CIA isn't involved with things inside the United States, too.
Never would. They gave me their word. And would they lie to me?
By the way, we don't hate each other.
No, we do like each other. It's just when he becomes intransigent in these positions.
Because when I'm right, you don't like it. Let's be honest.
But I'm waiting for that to happen, people. When that happens, I'll admit it. I admitted before that I made a mistake on the budget call. And I was wrong. Did you hear me say that? I was wrong.
So you want to know what my plan would be?
I'd like to hear a
Are
plan.
you going to elect me to Speaker of the House?
Might as well. You get as much done as the rest of them.
Yeah, well, that's finally a point we agree on, my friend, because they haven't done shit for 20 years. One, hard line budget and balanced. No ifs, no ands, no buts. Not $1 more. I don't care where you have to cut. Anywhere. Not $1 over what we bring in.
So therefore, with that position, there's nothing to negotiate. You said you wanted to negotiate with the Senate.
You say to the Senate, that's the position, so we can negotiate under that, what you want to spend it on. All right? That's number one. Number two, Congress does not get paid while it's shut down. Your boy Mitch, the turtle, who stood in front of the press and said, Ukraine is our priority. No, Ukraine doesn't get a freaking dime anymore. And I'm not talking now, I'm talking period. We're done with Ukraine. It's on their fight, let Europe help them out. There's my two starting points. Shall I go on?
Sure, please. We have another 15 minutes to fill because I'm done.
Well, what would you do?
I would reelect McCarthy and go back and do the right job. Okay, you asked.
Why would you reelect a guy who's
Because I think he got shafted unnecessarily.
Really?
Yeah,
you defended him for the last 9 months, telling me, and your defense has been, just wait till September, Dan. He's gonna do it.
And he's still got a plan. He had a plan to do it. It just was delayed by 45 days.
How much time does he need?
Evidently 45 more days. Now it's not his problem.
He could kill a puppy after defiling it in the middle of the road, and you would support him.
Was it a bad puppy or a good puppy?
And then he'd go over to a kitten, and you'd applaud him for it. Who are you kidding?
No, I can't. Henry's a good cat. Henry's in a good relationship.
Henry is the king.
Yes.
Not a kitten.
So we're not going there. But anyway.
Come on, this is making for a great show. I'm having a ball.
Yeah, sure you are. And I'm just sitting here taking it.
Because you know.
Because I'm wounded.
Oh, here we... You're going to play that card now?
Have I played the disabled vet card yet?
That one I have to give you on. There's another one. Why is Congress getting paid? Your boy, both your boys. Why is Congress getting paid, but yet the military's not?
You see, now, first of all, that's not true.
I know it's not true, but that's what they're putting out there.
But that's called scare tactics. You're not going to pay Social Security. You're not going to pay the military. That's called
by
democratic
the way,
scorching.
They are going to pay those.
Yeah, they are. They have to.
You get the point I'm making, which is that's not what they're saying.
But that's not what our people are saying. That's what the Democrats are saying.
And what are your people saying about it? Nothing.
They're trying to get a plan put in place, which has been shot down now and put on hold because of 8 renegade
No. And your video the other day.
Sir?
That you want to have these guys out now.
Oh, I do. I agree.
You want to send them to re-education camps like Hillary wants?
No, I think they need to be either recalled or definitely taken out in the next election.
And I say you should do it to the other 200 and, 14? Something like that. I don't know the exact number.
There were 210 Democrats.
Primary them right out.
Everybody's got a right to be primary.
I'm done with them. I am done with all of them.
So we're going to agree to disagree on this one.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately for you, my friend, the majority of the country is on my side right now.
No.
Go read the tea leaves.
Oh, first of all, we have talked 1,000 times about how accurate polls are.
I'm not talking about polls. I'm talking about go online and read.
Again, a fringe group is putting things on the air.
Oh, God.
I don't trust any of it.
Why?
Because it's all can be manipulated
so
to the needs you
what
want.
you're saying is we should trust the government, Bill.
No, I didn't say that.
Should we trust what the average Joe is saying, or should we trust Kevin McCarthy?
My reaction was Kevin McCarthy should have been given the time to deliver the budget by the middle of next month. If it didn't work, then I would have supported taking him out too.
No, you wouldn't have. Come on, Bill. Bill. My buddy, my friend, my pal. You know I love you. But you told me to give you to September 30th.
And he asked for 45 more days.
What?
He asked for X number of extra days.
Yeah.
Which is not unusual.
Enough. We have to have deadlines for a reason. That's like saying, give me 45 more days to vote, Bill.
They're trying.
Yeah.
They are trying.
How has that worked out?
Well,
Look, I don't agree with the way Gates did it. I think he should have backroomed it and said, "You're out. I have the votes. Either resign or whatever."
Gates was personal because of what's going on, and
But
plus, he's also got a hankering for AOC.
Those are all conspiracy theories, Bill. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you're wrong. I'm just simply saying that's conjecture. None of that's proven.
That is true.
None of that's
But
proven.
conjectures, unfortunately, the
And
reason
why wouldn't McCarthy spin something like that? He's trying to save face. He got
he
humiliated.
already got up there and he said, "I'm not running again." I think these people did it for other than the right reasons. They made it all personal,
Yeah.
and I agree with them. These are the same people who were good. They voted present when he was finally elected, so they were not supporting him from day one.
I don't have a problem with that. I didn't then. I don't now.
And I agree with you because you're an anarchist.
Okay, now you're going. So I'm an anarchist. You remind me of Hakeem Jeffries.
You're
You know
picking
who
on my
he is,
buddy
right?
Hakeem, right?
Yeah. Who labels anyone online that doesn't agree with him an extremist.
There's a difference between not agreeing and taking a stand that is impossible to make it a move
You
from.
have to take
You need to be flexible. I am in positions, and I move them when it's appropriate. And I will admit when I'm wrong. I did that earlier on the show, that I made a mistake. Second time in my lifetime, I finally came up and admitted I made a mistake.
You know I love you, bro. You know I do.
And we're having a great time with
I'm
this, aren't
having a
we?
ball right now. I couldn't be happier. Greta's over there hiding behind the screen.
Yeah,
I think she's on your side this one.
because she's right.
Okay. I'm not answering that because I'm a dead man either way.
Yeah, you're already gone.
She's got a 12 gauge, I think.
And I'm going to lend her the new one I'm getting. I need to test it out anyway.
K-bar back here somewhere.
I
I. You're going to sing that song now? I am the Mexican Bambino? I.
What? Are we selling Frito-Lays now?
There you go. That's what I was looking for. Thank you for filling that in
The
for me.
sad part is I knew what you were referencing, and 95% of our audience has no clue what that is.
Yeah, but that just means that
Just
we have a more varied
Go
experiences.
on YouTube and look up the
The Frito Bambino.
Frito Bandito, the commercials from the 60s.
Yep. When
And
and his famous song was I.
They were
I.
actually famous, but that would be canceled off the screen right now.
Oh, nothing's going to work today from then.
Yeah, I think this is long overdue. I want the war. I want it shut down. It's got to happen at some
I
point.
had no problem with a government shutdown if the Senate said I'm not going to go forward with whatever McCarthy and his people put forward. Had no problem with the shutdown. Shut us down for months because we've proven over that time the amount of workers we don't need. However, there should be one caveat to the whole thing. Anybody who is not getting paid doesn't get back pay.
Oh, that's a good point.
Because if you're laying me off and you're going to send me home for 2 months and then you're going to give me my money back, I got a 2-month vacation paid.
Well, and that's what they've done for, I don't know,
All
the
the
last 30 years.
Yes. So if
with
you're going to
these
shut it
continuing
down,
resolutions.
they lose their dollars. Congress does not get paid while they're shut down, and their aides do not get paid. Their staff does not get paid
That
while they're
ain't
shut
happening,
down.
we know that.
And they don't get their back money once it's put back in
Actually,
place.
do the aides get paid?
Yes.
They get paid out of the campaigns, though, don't they?
No. They got a
Our
budget
government?
for their offices.
You know more.
They get each congressman gets about a $2 million budget to run an
And they
office
still
here
get
and
paid.
many offices home.
I have to defer to you on that because I honestly
Yeah,
don't
they get
know.
about $2 million to run it, and the higher you go, the more money you get. So
Yeah, how's that work?
you got more
Why shouldn't
responsibility.
everybody get... We're supposed to be an equal democracy, Bill.
But we don't have equal responsibility.
You know?
And we pay people under the free enterprise system. The more responsibility you take on and successfully accomplish, the more money you get.
How does an intern doing social media for...
An intern doesn't usually get paid. We're talking about staff.
Actually, they do.
Oh, they might have now. There was a law somewhere pushing it around.
At one point, yeah, but a lot of them get
I'm
paid
not sure
now.
that applied to Congress. I know it was going on in various states.
None of the laws apply to Congress. Bill.
That's true.
They get paid. The
Now
military
we agree
doesn't.
on something.
You know, it's hilarious listening to...
But my point would be, and we got 2 minutes before the break, so we're going to have to sum this up.
And we're
Make
going to come
sure
back
that-
with future ones. Go ahead.
We make sure that when we shut down, and it looks like we're heading that way one way or the other, that nobody gets paid who shouldn't get paid and no one gets back money. And that should be part of this deal. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And look at it this way. That money can be applied against the deficit.
I mean, for once, we're in complete agreement on something.
See that? So he's
So throw it to break now.
So we got to go to break
end
now
on a
because he's
positive
finally
note.
admitted I was right. And at that point, we'll talk to you again shortly. This is Reclaiming America. Welcome back, everybody, to our next segment on Reclaiming America. Dan and I are going to sit here and try to be civil with each other, and I'm going to be
What's
very
civil? Stop it.
okay. We're trying to get Dan to see the light, and right now he's living in the darkness. But anyway, let's go into the results of what happened. What is going to happen next? The future of the House of Representatives Speaker's position.
A few hats that have thrown their name into the ring, a few hats that have been thrown into the ring,
Yeah.
including a wild card we'll talk about. Well, 2 wild cards, I would say. So,
Yeah.
shall we throw out names first?
Let's throw out a
So
couple,
you've
and I'll throw out a
got,
couple.
these are the ones I'm aware of, and there may be more. You've got Steve Scalise.
Yep.
You've got Jim Jeffries, or
Jim
Jim
Jordan.
Jordan. You've got one of the wild cards, Hakeem Jeffries,
Yep.
who's the Democrat, and you've got this other guy. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Sir Donald?
He's got a little toupee.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name's Donald.
He doesn't have a toupee. He has orange hair.
Yeah, Mr. Trump,
Mr. Trump.
who did not say he wouldn't take it, by the way.
And he knows he's not taking it, but we also know he loves to stir the pot. And that just
that
gets
was-
everyone to write forever.
And it did. So there are other ones I believe in play, but I don't remember their names, so I would think it's safe to say it's not going to be any of them. So what do you think's going to happen, my friend?
That's a tough thing to answer. I would hope, out of everybody's name that's come up there, I would hope it's Jim Jordan.
On that, we agree.
You know, I don't, because I think Scalise is a nice man, but he's suffering from some medical issues right now, and he needs to defeat those medical issues before he goes on further.
I don't like.
And he's also, he wasn't the most productive of all the
Oh, well played, sir.
most productive of all the people we've had in the
He makes a good
Congress.
swamp monster, though.
I'm not going there either.
Well, I am, because he is a swamp monster.
And you go to Donald. Donald Trump does not want to be Speaker of the House.
Well, that plays into that whole conspiracy theory that's been around for how long now, that we're going to put Trump in as the Speaker, then we're going to get rid of Biden and get rid of Harris, and then Trump's president.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
How many times? Stop. Time out on that, okay?
Yeah, that's not going to work. That's a waste of time and effort.
I mean, my personal opinion is Trump would not take it if it was offered to him, because he basically said, my eyes are on presidency, not Speaker.
Yeah, but he said he hasn't dismissed it
But
because
he did-
Trump just likes to stir that broth, and because he keeps his name out in front of
Of
everybody.
course, it's free advertising.
Yeah, and he gets multi-billion dollars in free advertising so far.
He's a master marketer.
Yeah, in every sense of the
If
word.
nothing else,
But
in my opinion, he's the best marketer there ever was.
P.T. Barnum had nothing on him.
P.D. Barnum's a rank amateur compared to the Donald.
That's to the Donald.
I think the chances of him becoming Speaker are slim and none, and slim as left
My
hand.
biggest question is, where does the Gang of Eight go? Do they vote Republican, or do they head to the other side of the camp? Because they're ostracized.
So you're saying, could Jeffries be in play for
Yes.
real? I don't think that's a possibility at all.
I don't know.
Why would anyone want that?
They can declare themselves independents and go caucus with
No,
the other side.
that's a other. Well, no, they could go independent and think about that, because that was something I was going to mention. You kind of went down the line I was thinking. Let's say those 8 split off and go. We'll call it independent, whatever you want to call it. They now control Congress
They do.
because you've got roughly 214 to, I forget the exact numbers, but it's
210
basically
Democratic side.
somewhere in there, right? Those 8 determine every bill that moves forward.
Yeah, and those 8 determine who's in
And-
charge,
I will tell you right now, that's what I think the plan is.
which is why I said earlier that they didn't do it for the right reason.
Oh, I think they.
This is a power grab.
Oh, absolutely.
And the problem
I will never deny that. Come on, Bill. That's a
and
given.
what you're looking at is 8 people who are going nowhere, and they wanted to get their
Well,
names out in front of people.
Let me throw another, I think it's 6 names at you.
Ooh.
AOC, Ilan, whatever her name is there, Rashid, whatever her name is. That's exactly what they did to the Democrats. It's the exact, all Gates or whatever we call it. It's Gates, but you call them Gates. They're just following the leader. You say he's in love with AOC. I say he's following her because that's exactly what they did to take over the Democratic Party.
Well, interesting,
And
because
that's
if
why
they
we're
combine
at.
together, they're now a group of 13 or 14.
They're never going to combine together. Stop, Bill. You got a radical left wing and a radical right wing.
But if they're not radical for any other reason than power, then they might share that to share power.
They have the ability, those 8, to say, this is what we're going to put for the budget, take it or leave it. We won't, or we abstain.
No, nothing's going to happen to elect a speaker. They're on recess till Tuesday.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a moment.
Okay.
Why do we have to be on recess?
Because
Are our feelings hurt so bad we can't
No.
be in our office?
nothing can happen by the rules of the House of Representatives. Without a speaker, nothing happens.
They could still be there negotiating.
Nothing to negotiate. They got to figure
Oh,
this
God,
is going to
Bill.
backdoor stuff. They're going to figure out who they're going to support.
All you gotta
and the gang of eight's going to have to find out what they can buy. And the bigger question is going to
how
be
much they get out of
let's
it.
assume for a minute they get Scalise, who
Oh,
our boy has already said that he thinks is great and loves him, except he's got an issue with this thing. He doesn't really support Jim Jordan because he knows Jim Jordan will kick sand in his face. So what are they going to do? The other thing that has to change, if they're going to elect this guy, whoever takes the speakership job has to get an agreement from the Republican Party that this one person can challenge and throw me out is out the window.
yeah.
Because if they continue that, our boy's going to sit there the first time he wants more power or he doesn't like what's going on, and he'll just create more chaos again.
See, I think you are thinking very short term. I think long term, this is sending a message. I think they'll back down. I do think they'll fall in line. I think I don't disagree with you that a lot of this is personal. I actually completely agree with you on that. But I also think it's fair to say that McCarthy made promises and did not follow them.
We'll disagree on that one.
He caved every chance he could.
We'll disagree on that one.
Of course we'll disagree because you know I'm right. You already apologized for being wrong.
On one specific incident, not on the
Bill,
entire
you have a
issue.
tell when I'm right.
He's never wrong.
If it were up to me, I'd probably go Jordan myself. I thought he should have been the one in January,
But he didn't want the job. He already said that in January.
but now he does.
Well,
Yeah.
now he sees there's no other choice.
You think
Scalise
it's
cannot.
that, or you think he doesn't? I think he legitimately wants the job now.
I think he has no choice but to take the job.
Interesting.
And
Why?
because
I'm
at this
curious
point,
on that. Why
the other names
why
out there,
microphone
I
fail?
don't think he thinks they're strong enough to do what needs to be done.
Is there another name out there that you think could jump in?
No.
I don't like Scalise. I never have. I think I call him a swamp monster because I think he is. He's going to go whatever way the winds sound the best. I mean, if I follow him on Twitter, and I just go, oh dear God. Now, mind you, it's not him tweeting.
I think Jim Jordan has no choice but to run because he's got it. Because he will have the power to shut some of these people down. Nobody else is going to have that ability. It's got to come out of the Freedom Fortress, and he's done a great job so far with his hearings, and bringing things out.
I like Jordan.
The other
so,
one
yeah.
might be, is it Comer? Is that
Yes, thank you.
that would be another name
I
that
don't
would be
see that
possible,
one
but
being in there.
I don't think he's interested. But I
I
think Jordan is a reluctant warrior in this case.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Jordan. I think, but again, they can't vote until Tuesday. on that?
Tuesday they return, and I don't know when they
Something like
schedule
that,
the vote.
but-
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Again, they should be there now. I just there was no reason to go home. All right, you can still get stuff done. You could still be working on whatever. The thing they need to do is get together behind closed doors and hammer this out, whatever it might be. Because, I bet you think they look like fools. I don't. I think, based on the response I'm seeing online, because I go online, you don't. People are cheering this bill, cheering it.
Okay.
My belief is any inaction by Congress is a good thing for the country at this point, because every time they take action, it costs us a lot of money. Where people are tired of us funding Ukraine. People,
Wait a minute. Time out.
Mm-hmm.
You just got done in the last segment telling me that he didn't deliver what he's supposed to do and took no action, and now you're saying no action is good. You're contradicting yourself.
No, you're
Yes, you did.
misunderstanding that.
No, you just did.
I know. No, he took action. He just didn't take the right action. Sitting there going, whatever you want, Chucky Schumer will do.
And you know that for a fact.
The bill in June, the budget. Name one
Again.
thing Chucky didn't get. We've already had this conversation.
We're not
You
going
came up
back
with
up.
dog catching.
I have to admit he's right on that.
I mean, when you have, I have to sigh because I'm at the point now with him. I have to sigh every time. Our friend Mitch, literally sitting there going, "My priority is Ukraine," while the American people. I'll tell you this. This will see. We'll get your opinion on this. So I have my budget, right? I track my spending religiously. By the middle of September, I had spent more on groceries already this year than I did all of last year or the year before, and we've cut back. So instead of buying, steaks, I'm buying hot dogs. I'm paraphrasing, but
Okay.
that's what people are saying. I just got my homeowners. Holy crap, did that go up? Mm-hmm. Car insurance. Holy crap, did that go up?
Taxes.
We
Property
haven't even
taxes.
talked about taxes.
Property taxes.
You're seeing
Gasoline.
the point where the American public. I saw a thing on the news this morning where borrowing has skyrocketed because to put gas in your car, you got to throw it on the credit card. And you don't have the money to pay it back. You are going to see in the next 8, 10, 12 months absolute mayhem occur financially. And people know it. They're seeing it. We've talked before about when's the pain going to be enough. We're there.
I don't think it's there yet. I don't think
we
enough
are.
people are
I
hurt
think
yet.
we're already there.
I think that enough people have not been hurt yet, unfortunately. More will be hurt. There's no argument about that, the way we're going. But I don't think there's enough people yet there to say, no offense, it's an inconvenience to you. You can still move on and do your life.
How?
I'm
Got
talking
it.
about your groceries. You
You've
change your lifestyle. You're gonna eat between now and January 1st. You're not going to stop eating.
Well, I'm fortunate in a position. I'm in a position where I can afford it. There are people, Bill, literally a
I'm not
lot
arguing
of them
that, but
out
what
there.
I am saying,
they can't even afford ramen noodles now.
I understand that, and those people I feel bad for. But I'm still saying there's too many people in a situation like you and I, which is it's affecting our budgets, but we can fix it. We can go on forward and make it happen, and it's inconvenient
See,
to
I
it. It's not
disagree.
deadly.
I think you've crossed that Rubicon already.
I hope you're right, but I don't think so.
No, I hope I'm wrong. I'd rather you were right. Because I think you're going to see, we have record bankruptcies. I see people are like, I have to choose. I've talked to people, we're not taking a vacation this year. I had to use that money to buy groceries. For us in most places now, like you said, property tax bills are starting to hit. Homeowners. My
Insurances
homeowners went up 20-something percent.
Mm-hmm.
My house is no different.
Your car's no different. That budget went through the roof.
Look at cars, all right, now, and they're on strike. They want a 46%.
46 or 48% raise.
Do you really think that Ford, GM, and them are going to go, we'll give you the 46%, but we're going to take it out of our budget? Or are they going to raise the price of cars to cover it?
Or they're going to say, here's your contract. Now we're moving our plant south, and you guys are
Well,
on
they're already
plane.
laying them off like crazy.
Yeah, and they're going to be gone.
It's just,
It's just like,
I
look,
think we're at the point where,
look what Newsom just did, speaking of what you're talking about, in Florida.
don't even get me going.
No, excuse me, in California. He's passed a new law that all fast food must pay $20 an hour.
Right.
So what's going to happen? More kiosks are going to go in place. More people will not get that job that they need.
Oh, it'd be worse than that. McDonald's is at record losses as far as stores. Like literally shutting down.
They're all shutting down. They
They're
have to.
like crazy. The only one that's surviving right now is Chick-fil-A. For whatever reason, they're the oddball that's hanging in there. Burger King's finished.
But you know something, and I don't say this lightly. Chick-fil-A is just appeals to an upper class group rather than the McDonald's and the Burger Kings.
No,
which covers cross
I get your
all
point on
classes.
that. I think that's a fair point.
But I will tell you the other thing that's interesting, and no one's paying attention to this, is the credit card act that Walmart and Target are trying to get through Congress.
Oh, you did a video on that.
Yeah, I did.
I don't know if it went up yet. I forget.
Okay. If
think
you're not
so many?
aware of it, they're
I've
trying to
lost
get
track.
Congress. Basically, what happens if you have a credit card and you charge an item, right now they are forced to go through your credit card company's firewalls to get the money, which secures your information, and that's not cheap to them. They are trying to
Right.
get Congress to pass a law that says they can go to any group they want to get their money from you, and they're already talking about going offshore to go to companies that are going to be cheaper, and I guarantee you the protection isn't going to be there. And who's going to get hurt? That guy that goes to Walmart or Target and uses their credit card, guy or gal, and they're going to end up having everything compromised because of big business again.
And again, what's Congress going to do? They'll rubber stamp it.
I don't think it's going to pass.
I hope you're right. All Walmart's going to go is, we donated $1 million. to
This
your
is
campaign.
not the show for me to say I've ever been wrong. So we'll leave that one go right now.
You know, Walmart's got a lot of money going to.
So anyway, your
politicians.
bet is Jim Jordan?
Oh, we're going back to that.
What is
My bet? I don't know if I would bet on it. To be honest with you, I think I'm leaning that it's going to be him. I don't know if I'd be willing to bet on it because I don't know at this point. He's making the right noises that he wants to be. I think of the people that have come out, I would say he's the best option. I don't know of a better option, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but the Donald doesn't want the job.
I wouldn't want Trump as.
Could you see him as Speaker of the House?
No, I honestly don't want him there.
Are you Democrats over there? You're all idiots. Just sit down and shut up. I can just see him running there, and
He wouldn't do that.
he wouldn't be that nice.
You go, you're fired. The reason I wouldn't want Trump in there is it would be even more chaos than it already is. I mean, let's be honest.
I have an interesting solution. We can look Carmella.
It would. She already is the head of the Senate.
Yeah, but we put her there and she gets out of the other position.
You're killing me, dude.
Got to move people around.
Well, she's going to get moved around pretty soon because Newsom's going in. It's pretty obvious.
Newsom, nah.
Bill.
Newsom's going to be running against Biden.
Well, yeah, but if they got to slot him in somewhere, so you get Harris out, you Newsom him in. Get what I did there?
They're gonna.
He's now VP, and then you 25th Biden out. Guess who's president?
No, not going to work.
Why wouldn't it?
Because you're not going to be able to get rid of Carmella that quickly. You're going to have to, without having a backlash on it.
Let's put it this way. I wouldn't be shocked. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I would not be shocked if she's out by Christmas. I think, I'm sure you saw Biden talking this week, and I was like,
I don't want to say I admit that at all.
oh
please.
my God. I was like, I actually felt bad for him again. I'm like, this poor man. I mean, I legitimately feel bad for him. He has no idea where he is.
Or what he's saying?
Or he can't even read anymore. And forget politics. What they're doing to him is so wrong.
We've talked about the fact that his wife needs to be charged with elder abuse.
But it's gotten to the point, and you're seeing the media's turning on him. That's a tell right there to me. If the media's turning on him, there's a plan in place. Because the media works with the DNC like this, okay? I think you're going to see Biden gone before the election.
2023 or 2024?
Next year he's going to run.
Right.
I don't think he'll be running.
I don't think he'll run for re-election. I think he'll be challenged and he will lose re-election. But I can't see them getting rid of him.
I think he'll be gone.
Because what you're going to end up having, even though we all know what a disaster Kamala Harris will be to get into that job, and the word disaster with a capital D,
you're being kind.
There'd be too much blowback to take rid of it from women's groups, from the black groups that would be screaming you went after. I think you're gonna have an issue with that.
I think that's why they're keying on Newsom, to be honest with you, because he doesn't check the boxes, but he checks the other boxes that they like. It's no coincidence that he put in a black female lesbian to replace Feinstein.
Right, and it's also no coincidence that Barbara Lee and a couple of the other idiots from that state, congressman idiots. Let me excuse that. Who are complaining that they didn't get the nomination. And there's some minority black groups that are screaming that Barbara Lee should have been given the nomination.
And that's my point though. You're right. There is blowback, but overall, it's being seen as a positive win for Newsom. And again, it gives him that little cachet, so they get rid of. Nobody likes Kamala. Nobody. The women's groups don't like her. The black groups don't like her. Nobody does. She couldn't even get 1% in her own party.
Yeah,
right?
but the problem with that is, it's different to say I hate somebody when they take him out. All of a sudden, people defend.
Depends who they replace her with. I really believe that. I think, again, conspiracy theories, freely admit it. I think there's a very obvious plan coming because, again, the media is after Biden now. To the point, it's like, I thought I don't watch Fox News, but I thought I was watching Fox News. I was watching CNN, and they're slamming Biden for his inability to, and I'm trying to be polite with it. That the roadblock is Harris, and they take that shot, get her out, not literally. I gotta say that because
Yeah, before
we'll get taken down,
before
right?
we'll be down again for something I didn't do this time.
I think Newsom for sure is your candidate in 23, 24. I think that
I think you might get Newsom Buttigieg as a combination for that job.
That I could see, absolutely. But I think this is so obvious to me.
The only problem with that is you're not talking, and you're covering one box with Buttigieg, but you're not covering some of the other boxes that need to be checked.
But again, that goes back to me seeing them building his cachet with those groups.
All right. Well, I think we're getting to the point now where we're going to close this segment down because I picked the first segment for you, second segment for Bill, and I think we're even now going into the third segment.
Oh, you're giving me the first one.
I'll be giving you the first one because I said I'd be quiet and really didn't object to get involved in it that way. So I'll give you the first
And I
one.
re-warned him I was coming loaded for
Oh,
bed.
yeah. I got an email to make me a date.
I was so excited for today.
Yeah, I know you were. I told Wanda. I said, I'm not looking forward to this show because I'm going to get beaten up big time.
I did not beat you up.
But I had to defend. And it was
Well,
hard
it is
to
your
defend.
job. It is literally your job.
And it was hard to defend.
It was
However,
hard to defend.
Yes, but I would also tell you, on the long term, as we sum up everything going on, we're going to have to see what happens next week. Because it could be a total disaster what these 8 did.
Tell you what, let's go to break, come back, and chat about that.
Okay, everybody. We'll see you after we pay a few bills. All right, we're back for the final segment of the show where Dan and I have had some lively debates and we both agreed that occasionally one of us is off the line and not correct. And he's a little bit more than I am today, but we'll deal with it later. But anyway, we have another segment. Would you like to start this one off, sir?
Sure, but I forgot what we were
Which is why I threw it to you.
I'm not going to. Oh, you forgot too.
That's why I threw it to
Producer,
you.
what were we going to talk about? Oh, we were going to talk about next week. That's right. What we think, could potentially happen. So you're going to have the election for the speaker, potentially Wednesday, I think you said.
They come back Tuesday. They'll probably caucus at that point and come up with some answers. And then...
I don't think they'll actually be elected on Wednesday. I think it'll be, at best...
Well, they have to do this in
later
negotiations. We'll have
right.
to see where the illegal communist group of 8 go.
You just can't not be personal with your attacks, can you?
Well, I'm not personal about them.
Let's assume, for the sake of argument, that someone is elected speaker.
Let's
by
say
the
Jen
end of the
Jordan
week.
gets it.
Okay.
But
Fair
I'm going to tell you, anybody that takes the job, it may not be the hang-up of which one that's going to be. The hang-up is probably going to be changing that rule where one person can stop the whole operation and call a vote. Because under Pelosi, it was the majority of the House.
Mm-hmm.
And we went from the majority of the House to one, which he agreed to, so I can't argue with the fact Kevin didn't agree to that.
Did it to himself.
Yeah. He shot himself in the foot with an 8-inch gun. And
16-inch, but okay.
You're peeking. But
wow! This is a family operation. Keep going.
we found something else we can cut.
Just keep going. I ain't cutting that one. Go ahead.
But the problem is just there that if they don't change that rule, you got the gang of 8 who don't like something and they're going to suddenly pull, or he goes after them or somebody goes after them because they're going to be piranha for most of the rest of the people. They won't work with them. They won't deal with them. And they can pull a trigger in 2 weeks and do this all again and do this all again. They don't like what Jordan negotiates. They pull the trigger again.
to the best of my knowledge, none of them have said that they have a favorite that they want in. And I could be wrong on that. But I saw, what was the woman from South Carolina? Mace came on, said she doesn't know who she favors. Gates has not said who he favors. That
he
I
gave
know
a laundry
of.
list of people he'd accept.
Right. And none of the other. There was another one that I saw on, I think it was from Ohio. Don't hold me to that. He was like, I don't know yet either. So none of them have come out and said, I want Jordan or whomever. That said, I got to believe there is somebody they have in mind.
Oh, sure they. And they're going to want someone at a Freedom Caucus. But
yeah. So again, let's take the supposition that it is Jordan and he's in by the end of next week. Where do we go from there?
Well, the problem is going to be, is that rule changed?
Let's assume, I honestly don't know which way they're going to go, but let's assume it's negotiated out.
Okay. Then Jordan sits down and he looks at whatever plan that initially was put out by McCarthy. He puts his own touches on it with whatever committee people he's working with, and they float that plan.
Do you think, because one of the things that's been thrown out there is stop doing these omnibus bills, budgets. Break it down. You vote on defense. You vote on...
Yeah, well, I think this plan had 12 pieces to it.
But they put it all under one bill. So if you like 11 out of the 12, but you have a problem with the 12th, you're going to still vote for it because you're going to get 11 out of 12.
Okay.
As opposed to splitting it, which is what they want. They want it all piecemeal. And I am a huge fan of that. Because I've said this before, I hate multi-issue, multi-solution bills. Because much like I said, I'll give you this if you give me that and we'll pass the bill. The American public does not benefit from that. Put it out there. Defense, here's your budget. Boom. Housing or Department of Housing, Department of Homeland, FBI, whatever ones. There's your budget. I think that's what needs to be done. And I hope to God, you were talking about 30% cuts. I hope to God they put that through. We need to go back to one balanced budget for sure at this point, with cuts on top of that.
That's how you're going to get to a balanced budget.
No, I mean, like, we'll balance it this year, but we're going to put in every year.
You want to start paying off the debt.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Because we're at 30, I'm rounding it, 34 trillion with another projected 2 to 3 trillion next year.
Well, you know,
we can't afford that.
The 1 penny rule, which has been out there for a long time, it was floated by our good doctor from Kentucky. Mm-hmm. If you get to a balanced budget and you cut it by 1%, within 7 years you're taking care of your budget. You're
starting to make a significant
and just cut it 1% each year.
Right.
That would do enough to bring everything back in line.
You know,
I agree to that.
You and I aren't going to be around in 15, 20 years. Well, hopefully we are, but...
Hopefully the show will then have tens of thousands of people watching it.
But the odds are we're not going to be around then. So
I'm going to miss you.
You may be right. Most of the guys in my family, they're lucky if they make your age. So,
46?
Yeah. Try not even reversing that.
Well, I have to admit it.
But I look at my grandchildren and I'm like, what are we doing to them? Because we're reaching the point where the interest alone is just, what are they projecting this year for interest?
$1 trillion in interest alone.
Yeah.
Just the interest.
Think about what you could do with $1 trillion for good, you know. And then you look at, again, I keep harping on Ukraine, but Ukraine's got to go. I'm sorry, as far as in our budget.
Yeah, that's the point we need to get to right now. We got some time left. Let's do the Ukraine.
Let's do Ukraine.
Let's go and see where we stand on that one.
Okay.
I'm going to start out by saying it's no longer a problem for our country. Make it regional and let NATO handle their issues there.
I would high five you, but you have a bad wing.
You can low four me.
We'll fist bump on that. We have given, the last I knew, about 160 billion in aid. We're done.
And I just believe, and I was noticing.
And I support the Ukrainians, by the way. I want them to win. All that.
They're also just receiving our brand new M1 tanks. They just rolled in last week, so they're getting the best equipment we own. And
and our ammunition, and
But the interesting thing with that last part of that last $25 billion of non-military aid, and here's something that'll just coddle your heart when I say this. it want to support the businesses in town that have been affected by the war.
Yeah, we already kind of talked
Yeah.
about that. Small
So-
businesses. We're helping small businesses in Ukraine,
But we don't help them here.
but my good congressman, not him, but his aide told me directly, well, we can't help the small businesses here because inflation. I have the email.
I'm sure you do. And I'm sure you're not
And
going to
I
delete it
was
anytime soon.
so flabbergasted by that. Okay. So we send it to Ukraine. It doesn't hurt inflation. How does that work? You know, I mean, because you think Ukraine is not spending that money with General Dynamics. Who makes the M1? I think it is General Dynamics. You know, whatever. F-16s they're looking to get. That money comes right back to us. It just
The
gets
M5s they're using
it
now.
gets
M16s
funneled into certain people's pockets. You know.
Sure. And not to mount that there's a certain amount of corruption that's involved with any kind of
No,
Yeah.
you wouldn't think maybe, you know,
Even the Biden family
Biden
corruption
family
might
might
got some.
be getting some of it. It's
Nah.
just, again, I support the Ukrainians. I hope they are successful in their fight, but we've done enough. Let Europe take it. Like,
Yeah, and I agree to that. I mean, as
Like you
part of
mentioned-
NATO, we would support, but as part of NATO, not being the primary person doing it.
frankly, at this point, we're probably I don't think all the other countries in NATO combined have done even a tenth of what we've done.
Well, Germany has sent some equipment.
But I mean, dollar-wise, I'm talking about.
Oh no, no
Now
India's
we're even close. And again, we've talked about this before. We are struggling, the average person. We need to pull that money in. We need to start closing bases overseas too, I think, some of them.
You're going back to Arsenal America?
I don't know, go that far, but, you know, do we need however many bases we have in Germany at this point?
No, we don't.
You know,
We don't need a base in Europe, frankly.
I would argue maybe Ramstein or Remenstein, whatever it's called. Maybe that. Maybe, you know.
Look,
Just
it
a
was
presence,
proven when we did training to defend Europe back when the Russian bear was going to be a big problem. Berlin, which had 50,000 of our troops, I believe, in that
It
city,
wasn't going to last a day.
they had a 4-hour lifespan.
That's what I say.
Okay. And they expected the Russians, with everything we had there, with a full push, could make the English Channel within 10 days.
Right.
And all standing between them is our people up there who are fighting 5-1.
And a few hundred nukes.
And a few hundred tactical nukes. There's a little difference, which nobody will admit to at all. But it's there.
No, they would never have used those, Bill. Come on.
Yep.
But it's, you know, I think, again, we were talking earlier about has the American public crossed the line. I do think they have. Ukraine is a big one. Everybody supports Ukraine. I don't know of anybody that doesn't support Ukraine in their fight as far as go get them. But the amount of money that we are funneling over there, and who's kidding who? We know some of it's coming back.
Oh, you think? The part that bothers me is this is starting to smell and look just like, again, going back to Vietnam War with the domino theory. Yeah. If we don't defend here, it's going to happen over here, here, and here. And the problem is we're so tied up here, it could very well happen in those places anyway. I'm going to be very surprised if China does not move on Taiwan and areas within the next year before Biden gets out of office.
Oh, by summer.
Yeah, they're going to make that move.
I think it's a done deal.
And I think the Iranians are going to do what they want to do because you know that the Russians are now flying Iranian drones into fight the Ukraine.
They have been for a while.
Yeah. And they're getting the resupply consistently. Yet our own people, if we had to go to war, we don't have the ammunition to fight it.
Exactly, because we've given it all to Ukraine.
Right. We've been shipping it out of there. You know, where I live, they go by with the ammunition train on a regular basis, much more than they ever had before this geared up. And it's going to one port and it's going out.
You know, and that's why I say there's got to be a hard line on the budget on that. We're done with Ukraine. And I hope they go.
No,
Because
I'm not-
one of the points of contention that they had with McCarthy, he still wanted to send money to Ukraine. McConnell
I
definitely
can't go
does.
to the fact we're done with Ukraine. What I would go
Oh,
to
I'm
the fact is, as a member of NATO, we can't not be done with Ukraine.
I'm talking this financial support.
As a member of NATO, but as one of, was it 30 countries in NATO? I don't remember the
It's more
exact
than that
number.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
As one of, say, 40 countries in NATO, okay? We should be doing 1/40th of the work, not
Moving
90%
forward?
of the work.
I'd go to NATO and go, we already did 90 whatever percent of it.
Well-
The rest is on you. Take care of it. Because
Well-
you know what? They got a lot more to lose if Ukraine falls than we do. I mean,
Sure.
truthfully, let's talk about that for a second. What happens if Ukraine falls to us?
Well, we lose some very, very, very good heartlands for growing food.
Caviar may get a little more
No,
expensive.
not talking about caviar. Wheat. They're the wheat belt of the
But
European.
we have our own wheat. Yes, for Europe. That's my point, right? Us, I'm talking U.S.
Well, depends how much we follow on whatever treaties we've signed all over the world.
The bottom line for me is we don't lose much.
Okay, well,
Because remember,
we're not in total disagreement with this.
a generation ago, we didn't have Ukraine. It was part of the Soviet Union, right? Your points are valid, but your points are valid for Europe and Middle East, I would say.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we have treaties to defend them and support them, and NATO members involved.
True, but that doesn't mean we need to fund Ukraine. Now, if, let's say, Russia goes after Poland, because that's a very realistic option at some point, then, yes, I'm all for stepping in. We have to honor the treaty at that point, Article 5. Totally agree
But
with
what
you.
happens, for example, if Germany and, let's say, Poland, be using your terms,
Mm-hmm.
are heavily supporting the Ukrainians, and because of that, they suddenly get attacked by the Russians?
You think it would be any different whether they were or not?
No, but I'm just asking you, at that point, we have to commit anyway.
Then we do. But until that point, we have given them so much money and equipment. There's a point where we have to say, look, our national interests have to come first. We may be fighting with China in a year. We got no ammunition to fight with.
The bigger issue right now is Ukraine is becoming Afghanistan.
Oh, purposely.
You can't win the
too.
war,
No one's going to win that war.
and you're going to be fighting there forever.
Decades.
That's called forever.
Forever would be like centuries.
But they've been 100-year wars, so we can go on with that. And if you go out
That's
to
a
the Middle
century.
East, they've been...
No, that's a century.
Really? Is that what
That's
that was?
well, I figured I know you're an ex-teacher, but it wasn't math.
We'll give him another one. So right now he's ahead in this segment.
That's why you majored in history.
Let's... Before we wrap up, because
You
we're
don't
very
even
close.
know where to go now. I got him good.
Before we wrap this up, I think we should point out a couple of excellent things going on at the state level.
Okay.
You know,
'Cause our friends in Ukraine want to know.
in the state of North Carolina, we are anticipating within the next week that they will finally come out with the maps for the districts. So then the districts.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be an interesting thing. For example, where we live, we're currently the 7th district. Do we remain the 7th? Do we join the 4th? Are we going to change our counties that are involved with this?
Sound like a Civil War battalion.
It is pretty much. You know, there's all kinds of options, and it also means that the districts have to very quickly have the meetings they were supposed to have last April to elect new officers, but they couldn't because of the map issue that's going on in the courts. So we're looking to get that done. They have come out with an excellent budget. So the budget's out. It's on a roll, and kudos to the people that do that in the General Assembly. I really think they need to stop bickering over minutia. Like the biggest battle was casinos. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
what
that
up
was
with
it.
that? Who cares?
Exactly.
Well, they care because
Well, the states, the counties that want it care because it's an income form for
well, it's a
them.
nice chunk of change coming in.
Yeah, well,
But again, who suffers from that? The average Joe, because unfortunately, they're going to go to the casinos and lose their money.
they also have jobs created.
Okay, so you bankrupt one to help another, and I'm not a fan of casinos. I never have been.
Well, I would tell you the only concern I have, because I have relatives in Oklahoma and I've watched them. The Cherokee Indians out there run casinos all over the place, and what they will do is they'll buy a gas station on a corner, and it's now Cherokee land.
Oh yeah,
And within 6 months, it's now a
they'll
casino.
own everything. Yeah, they'll own everything.
So and that's reality.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, kudos to our General Assembly for the good work they're doing, and we hope that we'll let you know how the map's made out when we get together, hopefully next week.
And the court battle that's going to come after, because you know it's coming.
Yeah, but I think it was designed so close that there's no time to react for what's going on.
You don't think they can't find some judge to?
I think they can't throw these maps in chaos because it will throw the municipals in
It'll
chaos.
be interesting to see what happens with it. I think there's going to be a court battle. They'll lose it, by the way, because the Supreme Court has already pretty much ruled on this.
And the North Carolina Supreme Court has already kind of said they're doing what they're going to do.
And even if it's got to go through the state, and you're going to get stopped dead at the North Carolina Supreme Court.
And by the way, for those from North Carolina, we'll just give you one other good piece of information. Congressman Dan Bishop, one of congressmen from North Carolina, has decided not to run for re-election, and what he's in fact decided to do is run for Attorney General of North Carolina. And should he win that job, he will be the first Republican in the history of North Carolina to be the Attorney General. So that's going to be groundbreaking.
Let's hope.
And we wish him. And I'm not going to say that he will be in Brunswick County on the 16th of December, but you might find him here, and you might want to come over and see him.
So our
coach.
friends in California will come and.
They want to get a plane. We'll get them a ticket. But, we'll help.
Careful saying that because that you just sounded like you're going to pay for their ticket.
I didn't say I'd pay for it. I said I'd set it up for them. That's all. I'll give you a travel agent. Give me your credit card. We'll take care of you. But anyway, I think we've summed it up for today, sir. So
it's been fun today.
You want to tell them where to find us?
I've had a ball. So we're on Rumble now, Bill. Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard that today.
I did tell them this morning. So, not that we've had too many issues with YouTube, but someone has gotten us in trouble occasionally. So I thought it best to put us up on Rumble also.
I take all my cues from Tony.
Yeah. That's another, well, they don't know what we're talking about, but yeah. So we're on Rumble. We are, for now, on YouTube. We are, for now.
Well, we're working on that today.
Actually, sometime next week, I have a feeling. It's based on the videos you did, and then I put them all up.
Oh, good.
We're going to see what happens. We're on TikTok for now, but we're on Twitter, and somebody's having a ball on Twitter as us. Might be taking shots at Josh Stein occasionally.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure I'm getting the blame for it.
Oh, I'm having a ball with it because he put out a twit. I'm not even going to say a tweet. He put out a tweet.
Did you call him a twit? Is that what I heard?
Basically, saying the standard line that they've used now across the entire Democratic Party, which is if you disagree with them, you're of course an extremist. And I pointed out that, if you're going to label everyone as extremists, the re-education camps aren't coming far behind.
And we didn't discuss that. I think we need to put that on a list next week.
Follow us on Twitter for the good stuff.
We have some time here. It looks like we can actually talk about it.
So she's got to go like this.
She's got 4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes.
Let's
talk about
re-education camps. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Hillary Clinton has said that all us MAGA people need to be sent out for retraining.
I'm not a MAGA.
No, you're not bright enough to be a MAGA. But
wow, I'm an extremist centralist.
Oh, you're not. You're
I'm an extremist libertarian.
And by definition, that's the same thing.
Actually, I'm going to the new party.
The no labels?
Yeah, I am.
Which the Democrats are spending fortunes to take down?
I'm going there. I want to support that.
I think you should. You belong there.
Come join me.
No.
Our boy, Mr. Kennedy.
You know the advantage of all libertarians going to the no label party?
Yeah.
They can't vote in our primary.
I'm okay with that.
We're okay with it too. So that works for us on both
sides. Yeah, keep putting up the same old lame old white guys.
All right. I think at this point
I thought I got him on that one. I thought you had to think there for a minute, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I was just thinking whether I was going to answer you or not. So I'm going to
talk about Hillary.
Oh, we're talking about Hillary. We decided we all need to be sent to re-education camps to get all this MAGA stuff out of our system. Does this smell an awful lot like Germany under Hitler, or like China or like Cambodia, or even like Vietnam? So we're going to have re-education. If you don't agree with us, we're going to send you to jail. Or I forgot about the Russia.
Bill.
Yeah, but they killed more than they
actually
trained.
It's not Russia. Soviet Union. Let's be clear.
They killed more than they trained.
Yeah.
43 million, I believe.
And China, by the way.
China's done a good job of eliminating numbers.
It's...
But anyway, so all of you MAGA people out there, it has been determined by Hillary Clinton that we need to be rethought, retrained, re-educated, pick the word you like, because we don't agree with her. For me, that's a badge of honor. With all that, we'll see you next week. This is Bill.
I guess I don't get to say anything. This is Dan. Have a great week.
Okay, we're done.
We're done.